Hello, ladies. Let's perch. Welcome to another episode of the She's Free to Fly podcast. And today is a very special episode with a very special young lady who, when I heard about this project she was doing, I instantly said, this is exactly what She's Free to Fly is about. And today we are going to discuss homeless women need wings too. So I'm going to introduce you to Miss Annalise. Annalise is a eighth grade middle school student. Um, and Annalise, would you just share just a little bit about yourself? And please, for our listeners, there are certain things we won't share because she is a middle school student, and it is our responsibility to not only allow her to feel comfortable, but to keep her safe. And She's Free to Fly is definitely a safe environment. So there'll be some questions that I don't ask to Annalise just to protect that safety for her. So, Annalise, the floor is yours. You want to tell some of our listeners just a little bit about you, what you feel comfortable sharing?
All right, so hi, my name is Annalise. I'm an eighth grader, as previously stated. Um, so my school, we're a pretty good school. And for eighth grade, you have to do a community project. So mine was a period supplies drive. So
All right. So, a period supply drive. So, how did your school decide that they wanted to do a period supply drive? Were you a part of that discussion, or is it something that you all do each year?
so community project is something that you come up by yourself. It's what you decide to do. And I just decided that I wanted to help the community by making a period supply drive. So this was just an idea that I created.
Okay, so it's an idea that you created. Is it an individual project for yourself, or is the entire school doing it?
It's an individual project for myself.
All right. Well, so you're doing a period supply drive, and you're doing it for women in the metro Atlanta area. All right. What is it that made you want to do a period supply drive?
So some people may not know, but as of 2021, which is the latest study that they had, you can spend up to $200 to $300 for your menstrual cycle per year, and it's gone up because of inflation. So imagine you're in a shelter, and let's say they don't get enough donations. Let's say the shelter has 20 people. That's roughly $4,000 ish, around there, um, for to pay for the period supplies for the shelter. That's very expensive for a shelter.
That is, did y'all hear how smart that young lady was? Y'all didn't even know what was happening, but it was happening because she was throwing them numbers off. All right. So you decide you want to do a period supply drive because the supplies can be extremely costly. Just like everything else has went up in price. And sometimes I don't think we're thinking about like there are women in shelters who are not able to afford those supplies. So you decided to do something about it, right? Um, are there any particular type of supplies that you are looking for?
So we're looking for pads, any size, specifically overnight and heavy, tampons, any size, specifically heavy and ultra heavy, and period underwear.
Right. And period underwear. I know some of our listeners are going to be like, "What are period underwear?" Because period underwear it's kind of a new. It was a new thing for me. I don't know much about period underwear, but so period underwear, pads, and ladies, you all know we like pads with wings, right? So, and we're at She's Free to Fly. So, if we get some pads, let's see if we can get some with wings because that is extra protection for women who are homeless and just extra protection for women, period. And then tampons. Um, you said heavy flow
Heavy and ultra heavy. Heavy and ultra heavy.
because I'm sure that they'll wear them longer, maybe if they can, simply because they don't have the resources to just change every couple of hours or something like that. All right, all right. So, as far as your donations are going, can you share with us the name of the place where the donations will go to?
So, do you mean the shelter or where I'm asking people to drop it off? The shelter? All right, so the shelter is the Gateway Center. Um, very nice shelter. Um, it's in Metro Atlanta.
Okay. And so the Gateway Center, we have an address for that center is 275 Pryor Street Southwest in Atlanta, Georgia. Zip code 30303. And you also have a drop off place for donations.
Yes, here we go. Go is spelled Geaux, the French way. 760 Concord Road, Southeast Smyrna, Georgia.
All right. Now, for those who don't, take them to the shelter. For those who do not, donate them to Here We Go. Is there another way that they can send in financial donations?
Yes, so we're going to be using my mom's Cash App. It's Angelique Edwards, um, $ ADEWARDS.
All right. And just for those who are listening, I know Angelique Edwards very well. So we're definitely sending it to someone we can trust and we know that the funds are going to get there. I know on behalf of She's Free to Fly, I am committed to sending $100 worth of period supplies for women. And I hope the rest of our listeners do so as well. And we can't have you on She's Free to Fly on a lease without you just sharing some of the things that you have done in the community before, because I know you've done quite a few things.
Um, well, I am a black belt in karate, so I help teach students and adults. I find it fun to help teach discipline to children. A lot of people think that karate is just learning how to break boards and how to fight, but it's really about teaching discipline. And a lot of the time, making lifelong friends.
Okay, and how long have you been practicing karate?
Since I was 4,
Okay, okay. And I see that keyboard behind you. Are you a musician as well?
I used to do piano. I'm getting back into singing.
Okay. And a phenomenal singer and pianist you are. Y'all, she's talking about it like, yeah, I just did it a little bit and I don't know much. Um, but we know you do. We know you do.
I'm a
We
lifelong
also, I can also remember when you were younger and helping your mom and working with the Stacey Abrams election, and you're very much astute to what's going on in the community. So I definitely commend you. And I'm just so proud of you. I'm just watching you grow and seeing you now because I haven't seen you in a while. I'm like, okay, the little girl is now a big girl, and she's she's giving back, y'all. Like this young lady is giving back to her community, and she's giving back in an area that a lot of people don't think about and a lot of people take for granted. Um, I know, like for myself, if there is one issue that keeps me up, it is homelessness. It really, really does. If I could wave a magic wand on something that I believe is world changing, it is to eliminate and eradicate homelessness and just to help those who need support. And so, even to our listeners who don't necessarily like this episode, is truly about supporting Annalise and her drive for her middle school to for women and period supplies. But I definitely challenge you. And the deadline is on February 17th, correct?
Yes, I'm collecting.
Yes, contribution deadline is February 17th, y'all. That's my birthday, so we're not going to forget. But contribution deadline is February 17th. But I would challenge women throughout the year because I know we have listeners all over Georgia, Las Vegas. I look at statistics: New York, Florida, California, North Carolina. There are so many states where we have listeners. There are even listeners in London as I think about what I'm seeing on the statistics. Donate to your local shelters. Period supplies are something that women need every single month. When we think about the shelters, it's period supplies, it's laundry detergent, it's quarters for laundromats. Those are some of the like really, really very much so needed items that we want to share with people. Um, And I told you guys, like, She's Free to Fly is cross generational conversations between women. And this is one of those cross generational conversations that we're definitely, definitely having. And I am so grateful that Annalise decided, yes, I will come on, I will interview. Um, because she's getting the word out there. And so let's encourage our young people to really, really have a cause, have a passion, have something that they want to create change in because the smallest amount of change for one individual can be the greatest amount of change for the receiver, right?
Yeah.
So Annalise, is there anything else that you want to share with the listeners?
I just want to say thank you for listening and for coming on to this beautiful podcast and video. Um, and thank you for your contribution.
All right, you are more than welcome. I think you're doing a beautiful thing. And if it's one thing I support, honey, it is young women doing great things. If it's one thing, our listeners support is young women doing great things. And I can remember when Mariah was younger, especially like every MLK holiday, like we set that time aside to give and give back. So I hope that we as women, young, old, mother, daughter, find these opportunities to give back. And I have two last questions. I would say one, but I really have two. Um, we can't get on She's Free to Fly and not talk about the mother daughter relationship. So, can you share with us what does your mother mean to you?
My mom is a force to be reckoned with. Um, I know that she always has my back. I know that we can get on each other's nerves, but I know she'll always be there for me. Um, she's a shoulder to cry on, and then the next minute she's somebody that's about to make a plan to fix it. I can always rely on her to help me solve the problem. Even if I don't want her help, I know I can always ask for it. Um,
All right. All right. All right. And our final question, and I ask this question to everyone, and you don't have to think too hard about it. What is one thing that you would like to share with other young girls to help them to become free to fly?
I think just be yourself. A lot of time, especially Black women, will try and be somebody else or try and be like somebody else to fit in. Um, feeling that, and I've felt this before, that we're not Black enough and stuff like that. But I think that if you're truly just your authentic self, it doesn't matter who you're hanging out with. It does not matter what you're doing after school. It just matters that you're doing what you want to do. You are having fun with whatever you're doing, and you're being successful in whatever that is.
All right. All right. Well, you all heard it from here. Thank you for listening to She's Free to Fly. And during this season, we are releasing every other Tuesday. Um, and I just, like, my heart is so full. Like, I'm almost speechless because my heart is so full. Because this is one of those moments when you tell God what you want and you tell God what you want to do, like all of a sudden it just comes and you don't even come looking for it, it just happens. And so to have this cross-generational conversation with Annalise, you are now the youngest
Oh,
guest on She's Free to Fly.
yay!
You're the youngest guest. We haven't even had a high school student. You are a middle school
Oh,
student. So I just commend you. My heart is so full. I know your mother's heart is full. I know your father's heart is full. And they have just done such an amazing job. And I can appreciate all the things that your mom does. Like, she doesn't try to do it all on her own. She reaches out and say, "Hey, this is what's going on." And it's because when we reach out to one another that it takes this village, and your village surrounds you. Okay, like Auntie Deshonda surrounds you, Auntie Danette surrounds you, Tamiko surrounds you. Like, you have women in your corner that you don't even know have your back. Okay, so thank you for reaching out. Thank you for joining She's Free to Fly. And I just hope you have a wonderful night, sweetie.
thank you for having me.
All right. So I'll sign off as I always do. I pray you receive my love. I pray you feel God's grace. And I pray that you share it with others. Bye bye.
Bye.